MSC Cruisecast is a Triple T production. Now, the Taste Try Travel team of Beth and Chris.
Hello, everybody.
Good morning and happy Saturday.
It's a big Triple T weekend.
That's right.
Triple T, 24 hours a day, all weekend long.
No, that's too much.
Well, if you watch this.
That's true, over and over.
It'll be 24 hours.
We are happy to be back.
And I'm wearing my glasses, which Beth is like, is that the first time you've worn your glasses?
They look good on you.
Well, thank you. But it's not the first time.
I couldn't remember. I don't remember little things like that. Welcome to this week's podcast. We have a couple fun things to talk about. And Chris, what are they? Let's just jump right in.
All right. A little birdie. Uh-huh. I have a little graphic of a bird next to it.
Oh, gotcha.
It says there's big changes in the wind for MSC.
Just announced, yep.
And
another big announcement
scientists have just discovered 2 new worlds.
Wow.
What does it have to do with MSC?
I guess you're going to find out.
Those scientists might not be scientists, and they might be MSC executives that have discovered
with all the money.
That's right. And guess what?
This is something we've talked about for a while now.
You're supposed to set me up.
So, I'm sorry.
Guess what?
What?
MSC is American.
Oh.
It's not Italian.
That's what I meant. We've been talking about this for a while. So with this new ship, what do we think about the new changes about MSC becoming more and more American? Or is it totally American now? You got to hang out and wait till we talk about that. Hello, kitty. Hello. No one can probably even hear.
No,
he wants to be a part, but
okay.
All right.
Let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
Because
this is good news.
We have big changes in the wind for MSC.
Yes.
And I'm going to say that I kind of titled it Big Changes, not because necessarily they're big changes.
They're important.
But they kind of affect a lot of cruisers.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why it's big.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like, oh my gosh, they're shutting down all North American operations. Yeah. It's not that big.
No.
But it does affect.
I think it's going to be
cruisers.
A good change. And yes, because it is about the new improved dining plan that MSC is going to do. Now, we all know that MSC's dining plan has not really been great. And I'll tell you,
well, it's weird.
It is.
It's just kind of weird.
It takes a lot of explanation. And I think that they're kind of realizing this, right? And I think that's going to kind of tie into what we're going to talk about MSC becoming a little bit more American.
Like, I always feel sorry when I'm on a cruise for the people that are selling the dining plans, first of all.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons. One, nobody wants to talk to them. Like people avoid eye contact.
So the crew is hanging out usually on like embarkation day.
Clipboard over there. Don't look. Don't make direct eye contact with you. They will say something to you.
That's really improved, though.
It has. I noticed them, a few of them walking on World America, but I didn't. Like they didn't even, I don't mind them talking to me.
Exactly.
In fact, I enjoy it. I kind of have fun because we've already made our dining plans usually, or 99% of the time by the time we've gotten on board. So we don't buy the plan.
Yeah.
But I'll spend 5 minutes talking to them.
Sure.
Find out about them, where they're from, and just make their job a little bit easier. But the second reason I feel sorry for them is because they don't have enough minutes in the day to try to explain the dining plan to somebody who is not familiar with
or someone that's used to, say, NCL.
Exactly.
Or, Carnival, I don't think even has dining plan. NCL does it a lot, and so does Royal Caribbean. So, and then you go to MSC and you're like, well.
So if you pick the 3, here's how it goes. I think. So if you pick the 3 dining plan, you get Ola Tacos and a seafood restaurant. And then the third one you can pick from Butcher's Cut or teppanyaki.
Right.
If you pick the 4 dining plan, you don't get ola, you get teppanyaki.
Butcher's cut
you
once.
You can have butcher's cut once. But then the other one, you can choose other ones that you can repeat again if you want.
Right.
Or totally new ones.
Right.
Or
okay. So the way
it's just ridiculously confusing.
So the way it was before,
and then what do I get when I get to the restaurant? Oh, let me launch into a PowerPoint presentation for you
exactly
of what you might be able to get at any particular. At each restaurant's different, so.
Right. So just to recap what Chris is saying, before you were able to get a 1, 2, 3, or 4 meal plan, and there were restrictions on what ship, depending on what restaurant you could pick or how many times you could go to one. And then once you got there, you had a regular menu that had prices next to everything, and then on a different page was a dining plan menu that was a lot smaller than the regular menu, and you were limited to that. And so sometimes it was I don't want something on that dining plan, I want something else, and you'd have to pay an upcharge, right? And it was
depends on the restaurant.
Exactly.
You might be able to get the upcharge.
Yeah.
You might be able to get the upcharge item. You might not be able to.
So
basically you had to go to university for 4 years to figure out their dining plan.
But I don't remember any time that we purchased their dining plan. I just didn't like the way it was set up.
I don't know.
If we went, we usually would just pay. Maybe once we did, but that's it. So it wasn't something that we ever did. So I'm glad that MSC is making some changes to this. So their official announcement.
Oh, we don't. Yeah, go ahead.
Their official announcement is cruise dining packages. So our new and improved MSC cruise.
New asterisk.
It is not, offers even more options that you can use to create your own unique dining experience on board your cruise. Choose from a variety of dining options, including, Mediterranean, Asian, So, basically, it's going to be in the restaurants, kind of like one menu, and that is going to be the dining plan menu. Sounds like there's going to be more options that are going to fall in there. Typically, you'll still get the appetizer, entree, and dessert, which is pretty normal across all cruise lines. And then there might be a couple things in there, like maybe a lobster or Wagyu beef or something that might have a little bit of an upcharge. And then you would just pay that price that you see there. You don't have to try to figure out the math of what you would have to pay if you wanted to upgrade something in the old way. Does that kind of make sense?
Well, yes.
Okay.
So if you looked down below in the dining plan announcement area.
Yeah.
It said, are there any exceptions to the new specialty package? And it says the following ships with 2 or less specialty dining restaurant options will not offer a new specialty dining package. Instead, continue to offer the old dining packages. Which makes sense. Yeah. So one of those on there is the Magnifica. It had one specialty restaurant, so. But it says also, additionally, Kaito Sushi and Ola Tacos and Cantina will also continue to offer an a la carte options in addition to the fixed price dining package options.
Good.
So I'm wondering how radical this is going to get.
I don't know.
Are they going to switch
what do you
Butcher's
think
Cut and Ocean K and Paxos?
Right.
And are they going to switch them to all dining plan options? In order for you to go to Butcher's Cut, you need to purchase a dining plan.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You can't just go in and
you can't just go maybe have appetizers or something. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't do a la carte there.
Yeah.
You have to purchase the dining plan. So once you're on the dining plan, you can pick up their menu.
Or you would pay that dining plan price if you didn't have a dining plan.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So you could still pay, but it would be
you would just pay a price.
Right. Yeah.
Here's your price.
I get that.
that's kind of the way a lot of other cruise lines do it.
Yeah.
Is where you pay $60.
Exactly.
$50.
I know NCL is like that.
For a particular restaurant.
Royal, right.
And you go in and you can pick off the menu.
Yeah.
You get an appetizer, you get a main, and you get a dessert.
Yeah. Which is really kind of exactly like we were saying, like everyone else is doing. It simplifies it. It makes things so much easy, so much easier. And I think kind of MSC's goal with all this is to make things more user friendly, probably because they want to see more people getting this plan. Now, this might be something, depending on the price, it might be something that we might do in the future, because if it's a little bit easier, there's more options. It may be. Now, I'm really happy that Cantina, wow.
Ola
Tacos and Sushi still have a la carte. I mean, those have to stay like that, right? Because those are the places you jump in, you have a margarita and a couple tacos, right?
Well,
or you just want to like we did on the World America, just go in and pop in and like have a sushi roll and some tempura. Like, I would
be disappointed if we couldn't just like, hey, let's go grab a couple of tacos. Yeah. And we just go and grab 2 tacos and we're done.
Yeah.
Where we don't have to sit at the dining plan.
I don't want a dining plan.
Well, what appetizer do I want?
Exactly.
I can only get one taco.
Yeah. You remember when we were on Seascape for our anniversary last year? Do you remember how frustrating it was when we wanted to just like go get some sushi, right? We were kind of like, we were like buffet out, and we were Yach Club restaurant out, like on the 5th or 6th night. And we just wanted a little bit of sushi, and it was the all you can eat. And we're like, oh gosh, we don't want to pay $40 each for an all you can eat. We just want a sushi roll. So I'm really happy that, that those are kind of staying very fluid.
Right. I'm glad there's a couple of, besides like on the world class ships, besides like All Stars or, places where little quick service restaurants. Yeah. That there's a couple that are a little bit nicer.
Yeah,
that you can
absolutely.
Still go and get a couple little things if you want.
Exactly.
You still get a sushi roll.
Yeah.
And doesn't have to be a burger.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm happy about that. So, with this whole dining plan, like I haven't seen any menus yet. And I haven't seen like pricing, so we'll have to keep an eye out that and see. And if any of you like have an upcoming cruise and you can log into your app and see some pricing or some menus, let us know. But I think this is a good move going forward.
I think it is, without knowing the particulars. Yeah. I think it is. Yeah. I think it sounds like that they're kind of simplifying it for people to understand.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, that's what a MSC, hard sell.
It is.
And I bet I bet that's one of the reasons they didn't sell more.
Yeah.
Is just because you needed like a flow chart.
Right.
All right. So can I get the 16-ounce New York strip? Yes. Covered by that. No. A $10 upcharge, and do flavored mashed potatoes come with that? Yes.
Yeah. I'm excited to see it.
There you go.
Here we go. Period. Done. Let's move on. What's next? New worlds.
2 new worlds. Scientists at MSC, otherwise known as the chief financial officer, and the CEO of MSC, have discovered 2 new worlds. They've ordered 2 new worlds.
So let's go over them real quick. So 2 were obviously out: the World Europa and the World America. So I think we loved the ship. I think we still have some videos coming out about it, but I think it's a great addition to MSC, and it's very American friendly, right? So with all their food options. So now the ones we already know about: World Asia, World Atlantic, which I'm really looking forward to World Atlantic. I know a lot of you guys are too, because it's going to go out of Port Canaveral. So you don't have to go all the way down to Miami and deal with Miami hotels and prices and traffic and all of that. So
love Miami to the Miamians.
That's right. Whatever that is.
I don't know. just offended all Miamians. Miamites. Is that what they call them?
No. No. Can we be done with this joke?
Fine.
Okay, so the World Asia is under construction and should be coming out next year in 2026. The World Atlantic, 2027. And so World 5 and 6 have just been announced. They're working on all the financing and da-da-da-da-da-da. But those are going to come out in 2029 and 2030. So
there's a chance I'll still be alive when these come out.
I hope so. I hope so. But this must have been the World America must be doing well, right? For them to keep, doesn't matter.
Listen,
I know they're looking much further than just a couple months, but
if you didn't enjoy World America, if you've been on it and you didn't enjoy World America, you're a hater. You got it. I'm just labeling you. You're a hater.
Yeah.
It's so enjoyable.
Yeah.
Are there things that could be improved? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are there little hiccups? Sure.
Yeah.
But overall, it's one of the best ship experiences we've had. Yeah. I might rank it number 2.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Well, I don't go around ranking my ship experiences.
I know.
But thinking real quickly.
Yeah.
We loved Meraviglia. That was a great ship experience.
Yes.
So
many factors went into that. Yeah. So many different, it wasn't like just a ship. It was a lot of different things. And I have a
feeling that if our World America trip didn't include me in outrageous amounts of pain the entire time we were on that trip.
Yeah.
And Stash leaving us halfway through.
Yeah.
That trip may have been gone. May be a little bit fonder in my memory.
Absolutely. But we're going to redo it. So
as far as the ship goes, just incredible.
Absolutely.
I loved it.
Absolutely.
Everything seemed to work pretty darn well. I mean, the design.
Yep.
How they thought about how people are going to move around
one
in
of
the ship.
Most well laid out ships that we've been on because we've been on the Seaside class, which is like a combobbled mix. It's like those are some of the worst laid out ships I think there are on MSC. So it was a breath of fresh air to be on the World America, and just everything's easy. 2
buffets. Oh, what a brilliant idea.
Oh my gosh, they're the first ones that have ever done that, as far as I know.
The elevator Absolutely situation, brilliant.
Yeah.
I love the World Galleria.
Yeah.
I want to call it the promenade, but the promenade on that ship is the outside part.
Now,
but that is awesome too, because you get to, I love that they didn't cover up the back of the ship with the show.
With the show, and just totally left it simple and plain and
of the seas ships.
Yeah. So obviously World Europa, cruising in Europe is such a different ball game than here in America. And so they've made some changes. Obviously, we haven't been on that ship, but they made changes to World America. One of kind of the most controversial pieces to this new ship that we're hearing, and we didn't experience Yach Club, but we're hearing it about Yach Club.
Let's just say it.
Say it.
MSC, you done effed up.
Really?
No, I don't know. I didn't experience it, but a lot of people are saying that.
It's like these mixed reviews, right? Smaller pool, different layout, no like buffet up by the pool. It's kind of like an order. So there's like a lot of things I think that we're used to with Yach Club, right? And we're comfortable with, and they switched it up. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Go ahead. Sorry.
It's going to be interesting to see how, if they're just going to keep these next world ships like that, are they going to make some changes in the design? I think that was the area that the most controversy has come about. I mean, we talked to a lot of you. I've gotten a lot of feedback from you guys. Some good, some bad. Some people are like, don't like it. Going to go back to Seaside class, right? So curious to see if there's going to be these changes, or maybe this is just the direction that MSC is going and they're just going to run with it for all the rest of the ships.
The biggest thing that I've heard that I would find objectionable and very disappointing is no buffet by the pool or on a pool deck or on a deck somewhere.
Yeah. Because there's remember when I think we did it most on Maravillia. We'd have lunch somewhere and we walk up and we'd be like, oh, that looks good. And you just kind of like browse and grab stuff. And you don't know, you wouldn't necessarily.
Some red snapper? Sure.
We wouldn't necessarily want to like sit down and order again, but just because the buffet was there.
Exactly.
And it was
just a wonderful casual thing. And the way they've made it on those ships is it feels upscale. Like you're just being pampered at a buffet.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird.
Which is not a pampering place.
Exactly. But somehow they did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so not having that unique experience on a ship, like I say 1,000 times every year on our channel. Yeah. We look for unique experiences. Absolutely. And that is an absolute unique experience because most of the time buffets are madhouses.
Yeah.
With the gravy spilled all over the front of the
thing. Not that bad.
You drag your tray through it. It's not that bad. But it is, a madhouse is probably appropriate.
Madhouse could be
75% of buffets.
Absolutely.
But it feels, when you're in the yacht club, it just feels a little nicer. Yeah. Like you're part of a little exclusive club.
Right. Which you are.
You get to go up and have some really nice, thought out, well prepared, lovingly made food.
Right. Now, let me tell you another part.
At a buffet.
Right. Another part that I think that I would miss is the little snacky snacks in the lounge. And I remember when we were in Maravillia and what was her name? Irish. Every other day they would was it every other day or no, it was every week they would switch, but she happened to be down in the lounge. Yeah.
From the pool deck to the lounge.
Yeah. So there was 2 attendants and then 1 week someone would do one and then they would switch back. So one didn't have to always outside. But I always used to remember the Irish would put out the snacks at certain times and we would whatever we were doing, we would kind of hey, we need to go check out the snacks. You know what I mean? And so that was a fun, again, another fun, now I think if I understand right, you kind of just, there's certain things on a list that you can pick from and then you ask and then the lounge server would bring those to you, but which is still doable, but it does miss that whole little bit of fun of exploring it. You know what I mean? Ooh, what's that? Trying something a little different,
I don't want to have to ask somebody for a little cucumber sandwich and 12 chips. I don't want to have to ask somebody for that. Let's just put it out there. Yeah. I'll go grab it.
Yeah. Again, I think that led to the casual atmosphere that we liked kind of in the lounge area.
Yeah, you walk in. Look at a little thing I can peruse.
So.
What's that? Oh, I don't even know what that is. I'm going to try it.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what does World Asia look like? Are they going to make any changes for World Atlantic? So, I mean, obviously the US, everyone is understanding and learning more about Yach Club, right? So they're used to different things. So are they going to change? And one more question. I know we got to move on, but what do you think the names are going to be of these 2 new world ships?
Well, I'm enjoying the fact that they moved away from naming their ships close to what a disease sounds like.
Which one is that?
What is the Preziosa?
Poesa?
The Poesa.
There's a Preziosa too.
Preziosa, yeah. Poesa, what's the one that sounds like diarrhea? There's one that sounds like diarrhea.
I don't remember.
As unique as those are,
what do you think?
I'm enjoying that they are moving
expanding
away
a little bit
from reminding me of what disease I could catch if I spent too much time in a sewered area.
You're silly. What if by 2029, 2030, there was like a World Pacific, and it was like a world-class ship in Alaska and doing like Los Angeles and like that side. I'm wondering if there'll be enough like business for that.
There would be. I'm positive.
Where else do you think they'd put it? Do you think they'd put one in, even if they put one in South America, that's seasonal still.
Yeah.
But you can't call it,
World South America?
World South America doesn't really go.
World Amazon.
Ooh, I don't think they're going to do that. What do you think the last one's going to be?
I'm just going to throw out my vote. World Steampunk Humpty Dumpty. I would love to see that.
That would be great.
Maybe like World Magic, where everything is there's just magicians all over the ship.
Okay. I don't think I like where you're going with this.
Throwing little glitter
I don't think
in the
so.
air. After they do a trick, they throw some glitter.
All right.
And be like, Doremi.
That would be good.
Doremi.
No
maybe
real guess.
The world.
Do you think they're going to do a World Africa?
Dora ship.
Oh my God. Okay. We're going to move on.
You asked me questions.
I did. I should have known.
Expecting straight answers, and you should know after 26 years of marriage, you will not get a straight answer from me.
I agree.
I don't know.
Yeah.
World Pacific makes sense.
Yeah.
And maybe depending on who takes over the world by then, world Putin, if he decides to world USSR.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of bigger areas that they could name it up.
I know.
The world Arctic.
Ooh, that would be a good one.
It would sound neat. I don't know what. They're not even going to come close to that. No. That big a ship, obviously.
No. So let us know what you guys think.
Yeah.
My vote is a World Pacific is at least one of them. Because they're kind of doing kind of continent, ocean.
Remember Bodie McBoatface when I think that was England that opened it up, or maybe Scotland. They had the public vote on their new tug, and it was Bodie McBoatface.
Because I guess they named tugboats.
Yeah. Bodie McBoatface won. That's the greatest name in the world.
And they used that one. They picked that one.
They used it. I would love it if like MSC opened it up and it really was. It was Dora ship. It was
MSC
Dora
World
ship.
Dora ship.
The Dora ship.
All right, let's move on to our last topic. MSC is American.
MSC is American. Is it?
Is it?
That was a good response. The MSC is American.
So this we've been talking about for a little while is how MSC has been changing over the years, right? It was a completely different ball game like 8 years ago.
They were not too long ago, before moving into the American market in a major way.
Yeah.
When they just dabbled a little, they were still like the what is that Norwegian line? What's the Norwegian line that does the ferries?
Oh. Huh. Keep going. I'll find it.
Anyway, they did almost like ferry service around Europe, around Italy. And so a lot of their ships, 100% of their ships not too long ago.
Hurtigruten.
Yeah, Hurtigruten. Hurtigruten
still does ferries.
But although they're starting to change a little bit more and switch over. A lot of their ships now feel more like cruise ships.
Yeah.
But MSC was the same way. They did ferries. It was almost
how they started. Yeah.
Like a service.
That's how it originally started, and then it kind of upgraded from there. Yeah.
And then they kind of made it more of a destination / service where people could enjoy the ship and the adventure while they're being ferried to another port. So not too long ago, was who they were. Only in the last
7, 8 years.
Maybe a little bit longer
10,
than that.
maybe?
Yeah, I was going to say 10 or 12 years. Have they really started to think about the American market and what, unfortunately for the rest of the world, or fortunately, I don't know, it depends on how you think about it, we're a big market.
Yeah.
So what Americans want kind of rules the seas lots of times if you move into the American market.
Real quick, what's happening though, which is interesting, these last year or two, it's actually changing a little bit. Like in the summer months in the Mediterranean, it's not doing this. I mean, it's still going around and round and round, but they're even changing in the Mediterranean kind of a little bit. Because,
I mean, Americans don't make a big chunk of that passenger that I know of.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I think that if they change it, they will start making up a bigger chunk, because Americans make up a big chunk of like NCL when they do Mediterranean.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
all of the Americanized ships. So when you got Princess going over to Norway, you're going to have a big,
So as MSC starts to Americanize and people realize that they're not going, they know what to expect when they go on those cruises.
Right.
Then they'll start looking at options a little bit more seriously over there, rather than lumping them in with like Costa.
Right.
or Mine Ship or whatever. What is that German one?
That German one,
which might be, I haven't been on any of those, so I don't, they might be great. I don't know. But because I haven't been on those, I don't know what to expect when I get on them.
I would feel very comfortable doing MSC in Europe.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we're kind of really super familiar with them now, and they're starting even over there to get a little bit more.
Me personally, I would be comfortable on any of those ships.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, actually, I really like one of my bucket list items, I guess. I hate that term, bucket list.
I know you do.
This is like you've already been like diagnosed with terminal cancer. You better get these things done.
Right.
Anyway, one of my bucket list things I would love to do is go to Japan and do ferries. Like do ferries for like a week.
They're awesome in Japan. Like,
well, I'm just saying they're
not like these ferries.
I mean, but it's not like cruise ships.
It's not a cruise ship. No.
So I would be comfortable doing that. So any of those. But yes, I know what you're saying. If we go over to do a cruise over there, absolutely, MSC.
Yeah.
Totally comfortable. I know what to kind of expect with MSC.
Yeah.
But that's been a long time coming.
Right. And so obviously with this new ship, it's very Americanized. And I think, you went like small. Like I'm still big and you are small.
That's because I thought you were going to make a really important point.
I'm not making that important a point.
Well, let me change it back then.
Thank you. He's messing around with our screen. I thought of something when we were thinking about like talking about this today. And so I'm going to put my pen down so I can use my hands. I think that yes, there are a lot of areas where MSC is becoming more Americanized, but I think it depends on what ship you're on. Because when we were on Magnifica, that was a whole different experience. And that did not feel Americanized. I mean, it's still little, but I'm just saying, think about that trip compared to one of the seaside class.
Yes.
And even if you go, like, I really want to go on Divina. I'd love to do Yach Club on Divina. I've heard it's really good. So it's small, right? That's why we like the Meraviglia, because you've got that more intimate feel. And I think the Meraviglia versus like World America, those are completely different experiences. So that the ship, I think, plays a lot into how Americanized it's going to feel.
I think that was a very important point, and you should have been bigger.
I should have been bigger. Think about one thing we want to talk about. One of the points with this is, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I forgot to turn my phone off.
I might not invite you back next week.
I have to have it on for work, okay?
For the cruise cast.
One area is entertainment, and if you've listened to, you're not inviting me back? You're going to do it by yourself?
You were halfway through your point and you realized what I said.
Entertainment is one of the biggest draws that we really loved about MSC that set it apart. And you see this progression of the change, right? Becoming more just like a sing and dance show and not so much like super interesting, except, let me finish my thought.
Okay.
Except this is where I'm talking about where the ship comes into play, because when we were on Magnifica, they had, I mean, the theater number one was so close. You felt like you were like right there in there. And they had several shows that were super, like we loved the entertainment on that ship. And then we turn around and go on like one of the seaside class and we were a little disappointed. So it does have to do also, I just want to nail that with your ship too. So let's talk about entertainment for a second.
Right. I forgot what point I was going to make, but the entertainment on the ships. I'm trying to remember what I was going to say because I was thinking about it and then I started thinking about something else.
Well, can I say something while you're trying to think?
Go ahead while I think about it.
But on World America, we didn't really enjoy the theater shows as much. And we'll go into more detail of this, but just kind of a highlight of it. But the back Panorama Lounge had so much interest, like really great costume. And like, so there still is good entertainment. You just have to, you got to search a little bit more for it.
I know what I was going to say.
Yes.
I was going to say that I don't mind that they're going to song and dance shows. Mm-hmm. I don't mind that at all, necessarily, if it doesn't feel like American song and dance shows. Like, I remember...
It has been, yeah.
The first show we saw, some Filipino singer...
That was amazing. That was on Seashore.
Just like what... Italian thinks a cowboy should dress like, which was
over exaggerated.
Woody,
exactly, from Toy Story. And he sang Hotel California in an accent that was the best thing I've ever heard in my life. It was so weird and bizarre. So good. Yeah.
That's just singing and dancing. That's all that is.
That's true. But
so it matters with like, you don't
see that much anymore. Though.
No, I enjoyed when they had that super international cast.
Yeah. That I think makes a big difference. Yeah.
And they just, whatever, it wasn't influenced by American producers.
No.
Or American creative people. I mean, God bless us. We do great things.
Yeah.
But on the ship, the one thing that made it so wonderful was them interpreting things.
Absolutely.
In their own particular style.
Yeah.
And it was so wonderful.
Yeah.
So I know that MSC sources out their shows. Like I think every cruise line
will do that. Yeah.
And I know that they use European production companies to do it. I don't know if they've started using some American production companies or not. So I don't know if it's just those production companies that are trying to like, is MSC saying, hey, we'd love to see a little bit more like what you'll see on...
they have to be making those choices.
On Royal Caribbean.
Yeah.
You know, we'd rather see...
Yeah. Well, it appeals to a wider... What am I trying to say? More people, a wider audience where maybe not everyone likes the weird things that we like.
Oh, I'm
obviously
sure
not. So we're the weirdos.
But sometimes you just got to fight for it so that people will realize later on, oh, that's right. I actually remember those weirder shows. Yeah. I don't remember the plain old shows.
Now on Meraviglia class, they had like a carousel lounge. We never actually got around to doing that. But I think that maybe offered a little bit of a different, like a circus. So, kind of show, Cirque du Soleil, sorry, I should say. But I like the fact that at least on these world class, you kind of have two big theaters. So you can have little funky, different, interesting shows, and then you can have more bland shows. And people can decide what they want to see.
Yeah, sure. That'd be fine with me if that's what they want to do, because I think that a lot of cruise lines are doing that. And I don't want to see MSC I don't want to see other cruise lines doing this and MSC start doing this. Yeah. And suddenly MSC has the worst entertainment. And the other cruises are, other cruise lines are doing, because I remember in 2019, I think it was, we went on the Getaway.
NCL Getaway, yeah.
And they had they
had like a steampunk dinner show.
It was like a variety, vaudeville. It
was kind of like a
steampunk
dinner theater kind of,
weird,
really fun. Yeah. And that's where we have
New
our best
Orleans-y
memories.
Show or something. It was wild and out there.
Yeah.
Especially because we hadn't seen anything like that on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
And that was absolutely, I still remember that show to this day.
Exactly.
Don't ask me any other show I saw on that ship, and I was on that ship for 3 weeks.
Exactly.
I don't remember any other show.
Right.
But I remember that one.
Yeah.
Because it was out there and enjoyable and fun and different.
Yeah.
That's what we want to see on the cruise lines, MSC. Yeah. We don't want to see same old stuff. Goodness, I don't want to see the stuff that I can turn on NPR, or not NPR, that's National Public Radio. You turn that on, I can't see nothing. PBS, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
PBS, here's a performance of Swan Lake, followed by Luke Bryan. We're doing good on time.
Okay.
41 minutes.
Let's move on to one of the other areas, which is big, which is food, right? So there's been a change.
Definitely.
With change.
It is definitely more
made for a wider audience.
Like I'm poo-pooing the United States and America.
Right.
And I am completely opposite of that.
I know.
I love this country.
I know.
I am so happy that we live here and can enjoy the things that we enjoy. But
when we
gosh darn it, sometimes we do things not as good as other people.
Right. Absolutely.
And food, I think, is one of them.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get stuck in the chicken nuggets and it's special if you put cheese on it.
Gross.
Lane of culinary delights.
Yeah. Well, let me say one thing that MSC's not changed, not once on, that we still love, is any bread bakery item baked with flour and eggs and sugar. It's amazing. Or just plain bread. That has not changed, which has been really nice to see. And this coffee, #1 cruise line coffee for sure. Pizza was still like good on this cruise ship. They had plenty.
The MSC pizza was wonderful.
Yeah.
On this cruise ship, it's wonderful.
The thin crust. Yeah. Their burgers. I think there's a couple things. Yeah, we don't really do the focaccia pizza. But so I think that we've kind of like started out.
That is something you feed your 9-year-old nephew.
Yeah, maybe for kids. We don't have kids, so.
Yeah, but it's all over.
I
Come on. How many 9-year-old nephews can I bring on a cruise?
Let me say, when we first started several years ago cruising, we thought the food was super flavorful, had big punches of like spice and I think
afraid of sour or spice or salt or pepper or heat. We weren't afraid of any of that.
So I think part of going to kind of integrate into the American market is the majority of things kind of lost that big punch, right? But I feel like they haven't gone like exactly back, but I think MSC is like heading back up as far as food is concerned. It never was really bad, but I'm just saying, with all of the options, we really enjoyed.
I enjoyed the options, but again, like when it comes to like the main dining room, I just found it dumb. It's a dumbed down
It's
menu.
dumbed down, yeah. And I think that's really sad.
I don't like that, but I do enjoy the options. The options were incredible.
That's going to save,
absolutely give us options galore. Walk around every corner, there's something there. There's a I'm gonna say a corn dog, and I just went on about people doing chicken nuggets and cheese, and I'm like, a corn dog.
Well, you don't get some of those things. Like getting those like fried things sometimes is a little different. But I wanted to, while I was thinking about it, I want to go on to something else. But did you have anything else to say about food?
Well, no. I do think it. I don't know. I don't know what their plan is in the future, but it does seem to be like they kind of leveled out. Like it was very European when we started. Yeah, and then we kind of noticed it going down. Whatever your opinion is, going like a little bit more American. Yeah. Items, right? A little less exotic items. Yeah. And it kind of seemed like it's kind of tapered off, where they still have a few little things here and there that you can find that are like, oh, that's kind of interesting. That's not something I can find regularly at Olive Garden.
That's kind of the stuff we like, right? So you want to find those fun, different things that you don't normally see.
And it seems like they've kind of hit a little leveling point, which I guess I'm okay with if they stay where they are and not get rid of everything. Yeah. I guess I'm okay with that. Yeah. I don't want to be okay with that. I enjoyed getting on there and looking at the menu and being like, I don't even know what that is.
Let's try it.
Yeah, let's try it.
I know. I want to say one area that becoming more Americanized has been so amazing, and it is, I know you don't have much to do with this, but it's the check-in process on the app. It is the when you get to the terminal to board. This last 2 years, I would say, they have improved their technology in that area, and they've even improved how you log on to the internet. You remember our first time trying to log on to the internet? There was a line, and we had to get these it was like a half a page of instructions, and they were still doing the month and the day, month, and the year different than we do, so it was hard to log in. You remember how that kind of technology was so frustrating?
I also remember, not that this is Americanized now, but I also remember that we went to customer service because we couldn't log in, and they're like, "No, we can't help you with that." Yeah, the photo department is the one that handles the Wi-Fi. Yeah. And we're like, "Oh, of course."
But the way,
of course, you go to the photo department.
I love the way, I print nothing. I don't need to print luggage tags. I don't need to print boarding and nothing. Everything is quick and easy, and you can add to your Apple Wallet.
We are tree huggers at heart.
That's right. No use wasting any paper. But I really enjoy that aspect of, and then being able to find things on the app and all of that. So I'm not sure exactly that's Americanized, but they've made it. I
don't know if it's Americanized.
They've come a long way.
Yes, they have come a long way. I was going to say, I think a lot of cruise lines are doing that. Yeah. Because I remember for our entire cruise existence, since we've been going on cruises, since we've been alive, it's been a deal. Yeah. To check in. Yeah. And then we went on some cruise. I don't remember, maybe Wonder of the Seas. And we were on in 25 seconds.
No, that was Celebrity.
Was that Celebrity?
Yeah,
I don't remember who it was.
Because we're we didn't even have time to film because we were
it was boom, 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 we're on. Yeah. And I was like, I didn't even know that was possible.
Exactly. Yeah.
I thought part of cruising was a madhouse, maddening. You want to pull your hair out 2 hours before you got on the cruise so that then you can enjoy the cruise. Yeah. They just wanted to build up your frustration so that when you got in the cruise, you were like, oh my goodness, it's so nice.
Another amazing part that we have seen just in our couple years of cruising with MSC is when we first did it, the announcements, right? The announcements were in English, and they were like 5 of the languages. It's like so long for those to happen.
The first time we were on MSC, the very first time, and we heard the announcement, and it was like they said it in English. And you're like, oh, and now we can continue. Oh, no.
We were trying to record something.
In Italian.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. They're good. No, then they got to do it in French. And then German, and then Russian, and then Slavic, and then Turkish, and then Japanese.
We literally gave up on filming.
And then Papua New Guinea, the major language that's spoken in the bigger island, and then the lesser island of Papua New Guinea. It was, and then Australian accent. It was funny.
Beyond. It was
like every announcement took like 15 minutes.
Well, they didn't do it for every time, but like some of the major ones they did.
Right. If they weren't telling you that at dinner tonight, it's Italian night. If it was anything other than something like that, it took 15 minutes.
And now there is so much more of a presence of the cruise director, and they kind of make it fun. And I don't even think it was only English.
Yeah.
The announcements now are just in English. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that has something to do with the origins of MSC and the ferry. They need to make sure that everybody on the ship knows
absolutely
what's the port that's coming up, when it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What you need to do to get off at that port. How you need to plan.
It was important for everybody to know what was going on.
Exactly. So they just kind of transfer that over to what the rest of the ship. Well, this is what we do on MSC. We make those announcements in every language.
So that's been a good. And then, of course, we already know that the what's that you have to do the first day? Muster's fantastic. You don't even have to watch a video anymore. You just have to go get your card scanned. But you still
can watch it on 45 channels.
You can watch it 45 channels, the entire cruise.
45 channels of your TV. Yeah. The entire cruise will be the safety announcement.
Yes. What other things do you think, good or bad, that have changed?
Well, I think that the crew, not that the crew was bad before, but I think the crew is becoming a little bit more Americanized too. I remember on our first cruise, there were crew members that didn't even speak English.
Yeah.
That were out there. I've never come across that on a cruise.
Right.
Where the crew member didn't speak English. But we came across that on our first MSC cruise. Like nothing. They didn't speak nothing. They didn't speak any English. So I think that they're kind of, I don't know if that's just in this market because they staff the ships differently, obviously. They pick the crew for different ships and different. So they might just do that for the ships that are American. They're like, if you're going to be in America, you have to be able to speak English. Yeah. You might come across some that don't, I guess, maybe in the back of the house or something. But well, I mean, like in other itineraries around Europe or something like that. You might come across, I don't know, because I haven't done that. But I've noticed that I haven't come across any that don't speak English since that very first one. Yeah. So I've noticed that.
Another one, real quick, that I noticed that I love that hasn't changed, and I'm so happy, and I hope it never does, are their entertainment like parties. They have super high energy.
There we go.
They have the white night. Everyone is used to that. They know it. They plan it. They have a sunshine party. They have the disco. Like, they have all these that are like so much fun. Their nightlife is amazing, and that has carried over, and they do it so well.
Yeah, just having
consistently different parties.
Different parties, and getting everybody ready to go. Yeah. And having a great time at those parties.
And Yach Club, when we went last time, they even had like a mini white night kind of fun party dancing. And that was kind of new, but I really enjoyed it before the main white night.
That was
it was so fun.
Freaking blast.
There was
that was
a
so
lady that was like a cook or something like that, and she got up and she was dancing. That's a really cool addition. I don't know if they do it on all of them. I'm sure it has to do with the cruise, the Yacht Club director. But so that whole side,
that was so much fun.
Yeah,
because you got to totally interact with the
butlers, the
crew
everyone.
members in a
one-on-one,
peer-to-peer way, not a I'm a cruiser and I'm here to serve you way.
They were just out having fun. Yeah.
We're all here to just have fun.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
I don't know. Let us know if there's one that you missed or one that you think that has changed. I think it's about time we kind of wrap up.
Got a big point to make?
I have a big point. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Chris is messing around with the size of our photos again. Okay, well, that's kind of what we wanted to share this week.
Right on.
I'll cryptically say that there might be some fun things coming. No, we're not saying that.
I don't know what you're going to say because you didn't tell me you were going to announce anything.
Just to our Patreon family, we're going to be doing some fun things. So you'll have to keep an eye out for that. I'm not going to say anything else.
It's just for our Patreon
And
family.
For those of you going on our group cruise, it's like we're locking down our itinerary and we're getting some fun plans. And oh my goodness, I cannot wait. I have a really fun, every day we'll just have something fun. You can or don't have to come to, but it's going to be great.
Yeah. Every day we'll have just one little thing. If you want to do it, you can. If not, if you just want to get on the cruise and say hi to us, thanks for getting us into the unlimited drink package. And then
go your own way.
Oh, can you give us our swag? And we go, here you go. And then we don't see you for the rest of the cruise. That's cool too.
But we're gonna do things like ladies champagne hour, and then like the guys are gonna go
guys,
do
you gotta bring your best dress.
You gotta go do beer and darts or something like that. So we're gonna have fun. So yes, Chris, you're gonna drink beer with the guys.
I'll drink a stout.
Yeah.
They got a stout?
Yeah.
Hopefully they got a milk stout. A milk stout I prefer rather than just like a Guinness. But
anyway, that's what we have for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. That's it. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.